In this video, I'll show you how to make a quiz in Google Forms. Now, first, go ahead and launch Google Forms. You don't know how to do this once you are on your browser on Google. Okay, if I open a new tab, let me show you what we do. You just come here and click on these dots to access Google Apps, right? And if I scroll down here, you'll see Google Forms. You just need to go ahead and click on that and you'll be on this page. Then you can click on a blank form right here. Okay, and you just need to name this form. For example, let's say general knowledge quiz. Okay, and there we go. If you want, you can, make this bold, italic, anything like that. So I can format this as such. There we go. This is what it would look like. You can add a description as well for your quiz if you want. Maybe this is a level 1 quiz. Now, we get to the questions, okay, in this section. And before we even get into this, I want you to come here and click on settings. I'll show you why. We have this option that says make this a quiz. So we can assign point values, set answers, and automatically provide them feedback. So we can toggle this one on. And there are two ways to release the grades. So one is immediately after each submission, and the other one will basically release the grades later on after a manual review. Okay, this one will turn on responses and it will also collect email addresses. I'll toggle this one on. We can also set some respondent settings. So basically respondents will see which, questions were answered correctly and which ones were not, which ones were having a certain amount of points for each question and the total points they have received. So now we can come here and set the default question point value for each new question. So I'll set this as 1 point as a default. Okay. And here you will see how these responses are being collected. Now, if I come back here to questions, I can start putting in questions right here. So this is a first question. I just click on this to change the text. For example, what is the capital of France? Okay, we'll do France. And then we have different options. So I'll put the first one as Paris. Okay, as you can see, they're already suggesting the correct answer, which is fine. And they're giving us other option suggestions. We can go ahead and add whichever one we would like. For example, Rome. Or if you want to add a custom one, let's say London. Well, London's already there. Let's say, which other city? Let's do Nairobi. Okay, as the capital. We'll add Madrid. There we go. So we have 4 options. And of course, we need to select the correct option. Okay, so the answer key, you can go ahead and do that right here. So the answer key here, this will be 1 point. Okay, and this is the correct answer. So I've chosen Paris. You can go ahead and click on done. So there we go. We have the answer key right here. It shows Paris is the correct answer. Now to add a second question, all you need to do is click on this plus icon to add another question. Now there's different types of questions. That one was a multiple choice. That's a default. You can also use checkboxes. Now this is in the case where there's multiple correct answers. For example, which of the following are programming languages? Okay. And then maybe you can add in brackets, select all, right, that apply. All that apply. We'll do that. Now we'll add different options. For example, Python. Okay. And as you can see, this is 1 point by default. I can increase this because we are choosing multiple answers. So I'll do HTML. I'll do Java. And then maybe Excel. Okay. And now what we'll do is click on answer key. We need to set answers here. So I'll choose Python. Okay. So once you need to come here, click on answer key to choose your answers. So we can also do this. If you toggle this one on, this means it is a required question. Okay. The same thing here. If you do this, it's a required question. So they have to answer these. and it gives them an asterisk that it is a required question. Basically, if you want them to fill in everything and not leaving anything blank. But let's go to the answer key, just come click here. So we'll leave the answers as Python and Java, okay? And we'll let this be 2 points. Click on done. And now we can add another question as well. So click on add question. And let's say this question would be a drop down. Okay, so who wrote Romeo and Juliet? Okay, that will be our question. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? So I'll give different options right here. First, I'll go ahead and set this as required and go to the answer key and we'll set William Shakespeare as the answer. Of course, this is 1 point. You can preview everything at the end. I'll show you how to do that. And you can also do other types of questions. So we can do short answers. Let's add another question right here. Let's say, what is the square root of 64? Okay, let's do 64 and we'll make it short answer. So they'll just put in the text right here. They can just type it in and we'll make this one 1 point. Okay, so they'll just come here, click on answer, and they'll type 8 as the correct answer, right? So if I come here, click on answer key, I can add the correct answer, for example, as 8. So as long as they type in 8, then they get it right. Or I can also put this in, right? If they type it in text, that would also apply. And all the other answers would be marked as incorrect automatically. Okay, come here, click on done. And you can also do paragraphs. So if I come here, click on this plus icon, let's add another question. Let's do, in your own words, explain why recycling is important, okay? Okay, now I'll go ahead and set this one. Let's go ahead and correct that spelling to paragraph. It's a long answer text, and I can change this to, let's do it, 0 points if you want to manually grade it, right? Let's say you manually will go ahead and grade it and assign points, or you can leave up to 5 points, right? But you can come here and add answer feedback if you would like. And you can come here and click on done and make this required, right? Now let me show you how this would look like. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, questions right here. And the last question will earn some bonus points. So here you'll be able to see all your responses, okay? But to start accepting responses, we need to publish this. But before we publish this, I suggest you to review this, preview this, click on this eye icon, and you can see what it would look like. So this is what it would look like to a normal person, a normal respondent. They come here and select the correct answers. For example, these ones right here, right? And they fill it in and they submit it, okay? But this one has not been published yet, so we need to go ahead and publish this. There we go. We'll publish this to anyone with a link. Click on publish, and there you go. We have our form. Now make sure you copy the link, okay? Click here, copy responder link. And if anyone opens this up in a new tab, they are able to fill in the answers. So they will have to basically toggle this one because we are taking in emails. They give in their answers. There we go. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? William Shakespeare. We'll type this in 8. Saves Earth. And then we submit this, okay? So the response has been recorded. So if we come back here, we see one response and this person got 5 points. You can see all the answers, as you can see right here, okay? And it's really that easy and simple.